Everyone wants to take their business, their skills, to the next level. Small and mid-sized business owners have exceptional insight into how to do this. They endure and thrive because they find ways to overcome the challenges that come their way, and they can teach us valuable lessons to apply to our own companies and lives. Stephen Nooner, founder and owner of Alkali, a company with a unique process that helps businesses more effectively buy and manage their insurance programs. And Bob Gibbons, builder of Riata Commercial Realty, a real estate advisor and tenant advocate, are two prominent Metroplex businessmen who, along with their weekly guests, will ask their and your probing questions, finding impactful solutions that will help you reach for the next level. Here are your hosts, Stephen Nooner and Bob Gibbons.
Welcome, everyone, to The Next Level. I'm your host, Stephen Nooner.
And I'm your other host, Bob Gibbons. And we're here today with Andrew McJannett-Smith. And Andrew is the founder, with his lovely wife, Tracy, of Escape Expert. And Escape Expert is the largest escape room in North America. Largest in North America. That's pretty incredible when you think about it, because these things are popping up all over the place. So we've got the best, the biggest that you ever wanted. So Escape Expert is based in Plano, Texas on Avenue K. They've been in business for a couple of years and are doing great. They've been featured all over the place. CBS Morning Show, Kid Craddock in the Morning, CNBC, Dallas Morning News, and now The Next Level.
I love it.
They're also the number one attraction on TripAdvisor for Plano. That's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
And so welcome, Andrew. We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Welcome. Now, is it the largest because Bob just couldn't get out of a smaller room, so you needed bigger just for the guys that are smarter than Bob?
I have not yet escaped.
You have not?
No, he's had an invitation, but he's never come and escaped.
I have the best of intentions. My wife's claustrophobic, so.
I'm looking forward to learning about your business. But we like to start off every show with wisdom of others. And usually it's provided by the guest. This time you actually provided us two, and I think the second one's to redeem yourself. But the first one was, don't eat yellow snow, which I think is, everyone's heard that one. But why I really loved it and wanted to use it anyway, despite your redeeming quote, was what it meant to you.
Yeah, I mean, to me it means make sure you're not the last one to do something. Otherwise, you'll end up just having what's left or not wanted.
Now, what I want to know is who first said, don't eat yellow snow? Who's the first person who did that?
A parent after the kid ate the yellow snow. No, we don't eat yellow snow.
All right, so if that was your initial quote, Andrew, and you felt like that wasn't quite redeeming enough, what quote did you come up with thereafter?
And I'm sorry, Andrew.
The one that we actually use in our escape room is from Samuel Beckett, who's an Irish playwright and poet, and it's ever tried, ever failed, no matter, try again, fail, fail better. And that one just goes really well with escape rooms because, if you fail, and most people do, come back, try again, fail better next time. You just keep trying and trying until you eventually get there. The same can be said for business, not just escape rooms.
That is so true in the business aspect. I actually just talked to someone who's been thinking of starting their business for 10 years, and they were wondering if there was a support group for starting their business to help them. And I told them if it was a support group of people who've been thinking about it for 10 years, it's probably not the group. And so they just need to get out there and try it.
Yeah, I mean, after 10 years, you either have to do it or you have to stop pretending.
And if you're listening, I'm going to still encourage you. Just take the first step. She knows who she is. And I love her.
No, that's cool, though. I mean, that's part of why we have this show is because we want to encourage people, because there's entrepreneurs and there's wantrepreneurs. And the wantrepreneurs are the 10-year people that, it's kind of like us with this show, actually, wasn't it?
Yes.
We talked about doing this show forever, and then we finally pulled the trigger and did it.
But the essence of escape rooms and entrepreneur, I mean, there is that parallel, is that the business plan that we are writing for this year is invalid tomorrow. Because something will change, something's going to change, and that's what happens seemingly in the escape rooms, and it's just figuring it out. And what do you do next with that?
Trial and error.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So now, give us a quick rundown on escape room. So, we'll get into sort of how you got into all that later on, but give us an idea for those that are listening that don't really know what it is.
Okay, an escape room is basically a business that is entertaining people either for team building or for fun. And we put a group of people into a room.
And then drop Bob in. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Escape, not horror. Not Halloween.
Sorry, keep going.
And then we get them to try and find clues, solve puzzles, and eventually undo some locks and escape from the room. They have 60 minutes to do that.
60?
60 minutes, yes.
What's your typical success rate? I mean, what percentage of people escape?
Our rooms vary from 45% escape from our easiest room. It's not easy.
45% is your easiest?
Yes.
So
We believe in making sure that people have a challenge. I don't think that you'd feel very good about yourself if you had an 80% escape rate.
Sounds like a pretty good business plan, too. 'Cause now they got to come back and try it again.
Well, on our hardest rooms, it's 10%. And we've had
Wow.
people come back 4 times to try and beat that same room.
Now, is it because they don't understand the clues?
It's because it's a hard room. It's really designed to be testing every single sort of part of, I can't think of the word.
Your intellect and
Yeah, I
your
mean,
history.
you've got to be analytic. You've got to think outside the box. You need to be able to be very observant. And it's done in our hardest room. It's done in low light as well. So, you need to be able to flash the flashlight in the right area as well. So there's a lot of skills you need that are not necessarily learnt educational-wise.
Interesting.
But you do have to have those skills. And some people come back time and time again because they do not like failure.
Yeah, well, everyone gets a trophy today, right? So if you don't get a trophy, I got to get
Not
that
at Andrew's
trophy,
place, you
right?
don't.
Clearly not, man. I got to drop my kids off.
So
there.
do you find that there's a certain quality of somebody or skill that they have that makes them better at escaping? I mean, is it somebody with a lot of knowledge of history or something else?
No, it's generally people that are more well-rounded in terms of, somebody, as I say, who can think outside the box, somebody who has got those observational skills. And also if you have a range of ages, because kids tend to find things that adults don't find. And adults think of things that the kids don't think of, so I think that if you have a wide range, I mean, the best groups that we get when it's general public is the grandpa, the grandma, the mum, the dad, and the son and the daughter. You're 3 generations all in the same room, and they tend to do very well because of that, because some of them they all think differently.
And they have references
and men
from-
and women as well also think very differently.
And the pop culture references for each generation changes.
Exactly, yeah.
What's the youngest age, out of curiosity, that can come into your room?
As a family, you can come in the room from the age of 6 upwards.
Okay.
And they would benefit from it. They would actually enjoy it because they're doing it as part of a family thing. I wouldn't say that they would understand everything,
Sure.
but they would definitely enjoy it. And we've seen that, but only in a couple of our rooms.
Gotcha.
Other rooms will be too far advanced, and then they wouldn't enjoy it.
Sure.
But generally, as a group of children, like if you're having we've had Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, we've had children's parties, birthday parties, we've had church groups, youth groups, corporate events, and the age of the children that tend to come as groups tend to be around about from the age of 10 upwards.
Okay.
Now, let's now go backwards and let's talk about how did you get into this business?
It's quite funny, really, because I've been in IT all my life. I've been in a very negative profession, where I have to solve puzzles and problems all the time. You never get anyone phone you up and say, "Hey, my computer's still working. Thank you very much."
Great job. Yeah.
That's because
Processing
IT people
people's
have
payroll.
such attitudes.
So I was working in a non-profit, actually, working as their IT operations manager, when my children came over from the UK, and my daughter's a Taylor Swift fan, and she said, Dad, can we go to Nashville. I said, what do you want to go to Nashville for? And she said, well, Taylor Swift's got a thing in the Music Hall of Fame, an exhibition, and I want to see that. I want to see a record company. I want to see, where she eats. Bluebird Cafe. And I said, okay, sure. We'll do a road trip. We'll go there for a weekend. So my wife didn't want it to be all about Taylor Swift and music. So she went online and went on TripAdvisor. And when she went on TripAdvisor.com, she found fun things to do in Nashville. And the number one fun thing to do in Nashville was this escape game. And it was called the Nashville Escape Game. So she told us she told me the address to put in on the sat nav.
Yeah.
Ended up going there, and it was a surprise. And then it's like, okay, well, let's just go in this building and see what happens. We ended up going in this room. We were paired with another family, and we failed to escape, but we were right by the very end. And my wife had a great time. I had a great time. My kids had a great time, even though we lost. And I just pulled my credit card out and I said, okay, let's play again, because it's very addictive. And so the guy said to me, sorry, you can't play again. This is all scheduled and you have to go online and book it. So I said, okay. So I said to the kids, don't worry, when we get back to the hotel, I'll book it. So we got back to the hotel, went online and tried to book for the next day. Couldn't. They were fully booked.
Wow.
I thought, wow, this business is really busy. So anyway, I said to them, don't worry, we're leaving. When we get back to Dallas, there's bound to be like 3-4 of these things because Dallas is a bigger and better city. I'm sure that, there'll be many of these and we'll just book in one of those. Well, when we came back to Dallas, there was only one. And the one that was here was a single room game with a zombie in it. And my kids did not want to do one with a zombie in it. So that was it. They said, no, not doing that. So their vacation finished. They went back to the UK. My sister came over with her friends. We ended up going to this zombie room. And compared to the one in Nashville, it was like a 1 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
10 being the one in Nashville. So it wasn't that good. So when we came out, we were rather disappointed. And we thought, wouldn't it be great if that Nashville one was way closer, like in Dallas, so we could go again? And then we thought, you know what? Even if we could do 50% of, the business, or even half as good as that one in Nashville, it would be 5 times better than this one. And that's when the penny dropped. So we were told, we talked together and we said, okay, let's do this. Let's make one. Originally, we just wanted to start at weekends, and then after weekends, it then grew to weekends and evenings because we still had our day jobs.
Right.
But then it just took off. We got picked up by newspapers, radio, TV, and then it just went through the roof, and it was just unbelievable.
Wow.
And then we left our day jobs and worked on this full time.
Very cool. Well, we're glad you did.
That's a way to start a business. Yes. Well, we're going to go to the break. Everyone says do what you love, but what if you do what you love and it takes over your life? Stick around. We'll talk.
And now, Confessions of a Recovering Landlord.
This is Bob Gibbons with Riata Commercial Realty, and I am your recovering landlord. After 20 years as a landlord, I now use that experience only for the benefit of companies that lease or buy office buildings and warehouses. Today's confession: knowledge is power. We all negotiate from a position of power and strength, or at least we want to. In any negotiation, the party with the most knowledge probably has the upper hand. And landlords count on this being the case whenever you're negotiating a lease, because most landlords are professional real estate investors and they hire professional leasing agents and property managers. Landlords are in the market every day negotiating leases, while tenants probably only negotiate 1, maybe 2 leases every few years. So tenants feel outgunned. Don't let landlords have all the power. As a former landlord for 20 years, I understand how landlords think and what motivates them. So let me put that knowledge and experience to work on your side of the negotiation. To learn more, contact me at texastenantrep.com. Again, that's texastenantrep.com.
Have you started making plans to take your business to the next level in 2016? Hi, I'm Stephen Nooner, founder and CEO of Alkali. We have a trademark process called the Empowered Advantage that enables CEOs, business owners, and entrepreneurs to more effectively buy and manage their insurance. Before sitting down to make your plans for the new year, here are just a few things to consider. Would you say that you have an actual insurance strategy, one that you can articulate, or have you just purchased a policy here and there over the years? If you have an insurance strategy, was it discussed under the pressure of a renewal deadline or considered earlier in the year to avoid fire drill decision making? If your answer was no to either of these questions, then you may not have the right partner on your team. Visit alkaliservices.com to contact us and take the next step to a bigger and better future.
My name is Nikki Hernandez, the founder of Boxes for You, and I've been skydiving once, and it was not close to being as terrifying as being on this show.
Welcome back to The Next Level, Conversations That Propel Business. We're here with our guest, Andrew McJannett-Smith of Escape Expert. You can learn more about them at escapeexpert.com. And Andrew, I think my first question is, what's with you British people that you always have to hyphenate your last name? There's got to be a far greater percentage of people with hyphenated last name in the UK than anywhere else on earth.
I inherited it. What can I say?
I always wondered that. Stephen, take us somewhere more interesting.
Yeah, well, I don't know how to top that, Bob, but I will do my best. So you were talking about the building process. So you started the business. I was pretty fascinated. You started the business while keeping your day job.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't do that. They feel like it's kind of an all-in or switched. Was that, did you ever consider anything otherwise, or is that just that's the way we're going to do it?
Well, we thought we would lessen the impact, keep an income coming in, keep us covered, in terms of benefits. Very important nowadays.
Yeah, it is.
So we thought we would, make sure that we had an income coming in, we could pay the bills and try setting up the business at the same time. Mm-hmm. And now that worked out fine for quite a while, but it became evident that we had to start dropping our daytime business, our employment there, because it was just not feasible. We were getting more and more corporate team building events, and the corporate team building events only want to do it Monday to Friday during working hours.
Sure.
The majority.
And has that become the majority of your business?
It is, yeah. We actually focus on that. That's what makes us very different from a lot of other escape rooms. We focus on the corporate team building aspect, and that's why we do the most corporate team building out of any of the escape rooms in the whole DFW area.
Now, does the fact that you're the largest in North America, does that help you in attracting that kind of?
Oh, certainly. We get groups that approach us and they say, can you deal with 100? And we can, but there's a lot of companies that can't. Because they've only got 4 rooms, 5 rooms, 6 rooms. The largest one around in the DFW area has got 6 rooms. In fact, that's pretty much the largest in most cities around the US. But we have 9 rooms, and we have 10,500 square feet that allows us to claim that we are the largest escape room in America. We've done Google searches, and
sure,
I'm not going to say we're the largest in the world, but we are definitely the largest in North America.
And you guys have some other capabilities, I know, as well. And by the way, for our listeners, full disclosure, Escape Expert is a client of mine. But when you guys built out your space, you also created an open area for not just the team building in your escape rooms, but also when they need to make presentations and cater in food. If somebody wants to be there the whole day, you can do that too.
Exactly. Yeah. Unlike, as I say, the other escape rooms, what they do, they get a space, they divide it up into whatever number of rooms that they want to do, and they turn them into escape rooms. And they might have a small room that's an orientation room, and maybe a reception area, but that's about it. We decided from the get-go that we were going to focus on corporate team building. Now, that involves not just coming in to do an escape game, but they might want to come here and have a meeting.
Sure.
So we provided a big enough meeting space. So we've got 1,500 square feet of a corporate conference room where we've put a 13.5-foot screen, high definition 1080p projector, seating and tables for up to 102 people.
Wow.
And they can go in that room, they can rent it out by the hour, not a 4-hour minimum like a lot of hotels in the area. So that you can actually come there, you can rent the space, you can have a meeting, you can have lunch catered in, you can then stop and have an escape game, which for your team building, come back again, restart your meeting, and continue on. So basically we've had people that have rented that space from 6 o'clock in the morning for breakfast, and they've had it all the way through till 5 o'clock in the evening.
And you change all, and I saw, and one of the things I noticed is you said that you try to change the rooms every 6 months. So you're
That's our
9
goal. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very hard thing to achieve, because if you imagine 9 rooms every 6 months, I mean, it takes up to 4 months sometimes to actually create a new room. So it's very, very tough. My wife is the creative one. She's the creative genius behind, you know, the clues, the puzzles, and everything to do with the storyline. I'm the one who can take what she thinks and put it into reality. So I can do electronics, the computers, the networking.
She makes it up and you make it real.
Correct.
And I'll tell you that I was impressed by the amount of technology in your first building when we first met. I mean, there were monitors and wires going everywhere. They have a control room where they can actually, from their control room, look at every single room at one time. And I was just like, I was blown away. I had no idea that this was going on. And
I mean, yeah, our control room currently in the new building, we have 2 banks of monitors, which is 9 monitors, and we have 9 monitors per side. So we have like 18 monitors, and then we have a large 8.5 feet screen with a projector. So that way we can take any particular monitor and throw it up to the projection screen.
Oh, wow.
So if we wanted real close up and personal, we can actually put it up on the screen and we can see, you know, very, very high detail using the 1080p projector.
Wow.
And one other thing I would say from a disclosure standpoint is that one thing that's a bit of a misnomer is while it's an escape room you're trying to get out of, the room is actually not locked, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
And why is that?
Well, Texas law says that you're not actually allowed to lock someone in a room. It's considered kidnapping and and highly frowned upon, apparently.
To say nothing of the fire department taking a dim view on it.
Or
Yeah.
the insurance liability. Yeah, there's about
Exactly.
100
But apparently
things
you can in other states, you know, so most places around the world you can actually lock someone in a room as long as you have some sort of, you know, emergency procedure.
password.
Yeah, I mean, we're constantly watching on CCTV anyway. So, you know, if anything were to go wrong in the room, we'd be there within seconds.
What's the craziest thing you've seen someone do in one of these rooms?
Craziest, I probably couldn't tell you on radio. Second craziest, we've had people that have actually stood on chairs, taken ceiling tiles down, and try and get over the wall.
Oh, no.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they've taken it literally, like they are locked in that room. They have to escape.
Oh, my.
And they will use any means possible.
And is that because they were panicking or because of something else?
Oh, no, it's just because they think that was the way out.
They think
Oh,
they're
my goodness.
Mission Impossible or something.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Andrew, I see I get Groupon, or my wife does, and it seems like every week we're seeing a new escape room popping up, and they're trying to market themselves through Groupon. So what is your experience with Groupon? How's that worked out?
Yeah, we started using Groupon initially when we first opened, and we did it as a marketing, from marketing point of view, you know, where we would get our name out there. And Groupon, once we used it, we realized that it wasn't really suitable for us to keep using because you get such a little percentage. I mean, in total, you get roughly 50% of the money you have to give as a discount for Groupon to even want to put it on their website and to email it out to people.
It's a good commission for them.
So wait a minute. So you're saying if a normal price is $20 and the Groupon is for 50% off, so I paid $10, you get $5.
Yes, we get just under 50% of what Groupon take.
Ouch.
and then you got to give 50% off to the customer in the first place. So you actually end up with about 23% of the actual pots of whatever you take in. So off of your normal price, you get about 23. So in our terms, a ticket is $28 plus tax. We would get off Groupon about $6.
And do you find that when people who use Groupon come out and actually use it, that they then become repeat customers?
Generally, no. 95% from our statistics, 95% of all Groupon customers never return.
Wow.
Unless you run another Groupon.
Now, I've also heard, though, that a lot of the people that buy a Groupon will never use it.
There is a few. I mean, out of we sold 800 Groupons.
Wow.
And out of the 800 Groupons we sold, only, I would say, 90 to 95% got used.
Wow. Okay.
Well, your business is growing, successful, and it's moving along. One of the things I thought was interesting is this is a business of love for you guys. I mean, it was started from the joy of your family and everything else. So what happens, I mean, when your joy starts to then take over your life?
Yes, that's a big one. From the word go, we were doing two jobs because we were doing our original job at the nonprofit, plus we were also working our evenings and weekends trying to get the business up and running. Once it was up and running, then we were working 7 days a week. And then when we even gave up our day jobs, we had so much business coming in, we were still working 7 days a week, but in the escape room business.
Wow.
And until you bring on enough staff, you're still going to be working 7 days a week. And we're perfectionists. So we like to have customers, come in and really, really enjoy themselves. So you got to make sure that your staff are making sure that they deal with customers the way you would deal with customers.
Not always easy to do.
No, not at all. We have some great staff, and they always look after our customers. But the newer staff that we've taken on board, they require quite a bit of training to get them to understand your viewpoint.
Well, thanks so much for being our guest today, Andrew.
Thank you,
we really
Andrew.
appreciate it. It's a fascinating business, one that I'm glad you're in, and I'm not. If you'd like to learn more about Escape Expert, please go to escapeexpert.com. And if you'd like to learn more about the show, go to nextlevelshow.com.
If you're just,
I'll take it from here.
thank you.
So go to our archives on nextlevelshow.com, and we interviewed Jim Dunkerley of First Funding. And I love what he talked about, which was that light the bridge on fire. That way you can only move forward, and you have to get across one way or the other, which is getting out of your, dropping your job.
Yep.
We'll be back next week with another great guest.
Back with my brain next week.
Let's hope.
Have a good week.
You have been listening to The Next Level, Conversations That Propel Business with Stephen Nooner and Bob Gibbons. Join us every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. for more prolific conversations that will take your business to the next level.